Alright, Doctor Who, in regards to his character development through each incarnation. The Doctor, in his second incarnation, he has a new lease on life. He's still held back by some restraints. He still doesn't know 100% how to control the TARDIS. He still is running away from his people, but he still has more energy than even any of the companions he travels with during this time. If anything, he shows them the excitement in a lot of stuff. This is a Doctor who's not hurting all the time, and one that's finally out there being free, being able to be free. But not 100%. He's still looking over his shoulder a lot. He's still a bit worrisome. A lot of it's an act, yes. The second Doctor, a lot of his worrisome, fearful self is mostly an act put on for people. That much is true. But there is an element to him that still is actually a little bit worrisome. It's almost like it's almost as if it's a part of himself that he's able to recognize and turn back around into a tool to his advantage when he needs to. But that's because it's a part of himself that's actually there. I think the second Doctor is a bit timid. I think we can say that it's not just an act. I think most of it is an act, and most fans will agree it's an act in a lot of situations. But I do think it's a big part of his character and who he is. He's always looking over his shoulder. So this very energetic man, always looking over his shoulder because he's not entirely free yet. He's still a bit of a mess. Excitably, unkempt, doesn't care, mess. And he's loving life. He's finally out in the universe, he's discovering some purpose, and he's got a new lease on life. But he's still looking over his shoulder because of the Time Lords, and because he still doesn't 100% have everything figured out yet. But damn it if he is not having the best time of his life right now. However, his past does catch up with him eventually. And that's when the War Games happens, everything with the Time Lords. He has to call on a bigger help, far beyond himself, for something that is way beyond his grasp of what he can handle. He needs their help. And in this, he must face the consequences of a lot from between this. And with that, when he becomes the third Doctor, that is the thing that becomes a double-edged sword. He has now confronted a lot that he was hiding from and was looking over his shoulder for, and he now has more leeway from that, for the most part. But he's in exile to some strange planet, one that he's familiar with, called Earth, of course. And the third Doctor is born out of that. The third Doctor is a Doctor who's been a bit more humbled.